There is a type of narcissist that almost never gets talked about, not the loud, arrogant, attention-seeking kind everyone already recognizes, a quieter version, one that looks shy, sensitive, even insecure. This is the covert narcissist, and by the end of this video you will know exactly how to spot one, how they operate, and why they are more dangerous than the obvious kind. Let's get into it. When most people hear narcissist, they picture someone loud and boastful, bold, dominant, attention-seeking, the person who talks loudest in the room, interrupts constantly, and expects special treatment. The covert narcissist is the opposite, quiet, apparently modest, often presenting as a victim. And that's exactly what makes them so hard to identify. Their behavior simply doesn't match the cultural stereotype of a narcissist. But underneath, the core is identical, an underlying vulnerability and shame they are constantly defending against. So how do you actually spot one? Here are 3 patterns to watch for. Pattern number 1, chronic victimhood. The covert narcissist quietly believes they deserve more recognition, more appreciation, more success, but instead of demanding it, they harbor ongoing resentment that the world has failed to notice them. You will hear it in small repeated complaints, being overlooked at work despite deserving a promotion, having their ideas stolen, being surrounded by people too ordinary to appreciate them. In their telling, the suffering is always someone else's fault. If you are quietly nodding right now thinking of someone specific, keep watching, it gets even clever. Pattern number 2, passive aggression instead of conflict. Rather than open conflict, they use subtle digs and guilt trips, a sigh instead of a sentence, a "no, I'm fine" that clearly means the opposite. This matters because it makes them almost impossible to confront. You can't argue with a sigh, you can't quote a look. So the resentment just sits there, controlling the room without ever being named. Pattern number 3, self-focused self-awareness. This one fools people the most. Covert narcissist often appears introspective, frequently discussing their inner world, their sensitivities, their unique suffering. It sounds like depth, it sounds like emotional intelligence, but that introspection is self-focused rather than genuinely self-aware, meaning the conversation always loops back to their pain, their experience, their needs. Yours rarely gets equal airtime. Quick pause. If this is helping you make sense of a relationship in your own life or someone you know, hit the like and subscribe now. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to see this exact video. Now here is the part that explains why this damage runs so deep. In covert narcissistic abuse, there is a constant gap between what the person says and what their behavior actually produces. Words of love and concern paired with actions that create control and self-doubt. Your brain tries to hold both of those things as true at once, and it can't easily do that. Research published by the Journal of Interpersonal Violence in 2026 found that this kind of chronic contradiction predicts measurable reductions in self-trust and decision-making ability in survivors. In plain terms, this isn't just an unpleasant relationship. It has a real, measurable cost on how much you trust your own mind. That confusion you feel, it's not your weakness. It's the cost of being forced to constantly reconcile 2 things that are both true and don't fit together. So where does this pattern even come from? It often traces back to childhood, emotional neglect, love that depended on achievement, or being told they were special without ever feeling truly seen. Those experiences create a fragile self-image that needs constant outside validation just to feel stable. That doesn't excuse the behavior, but it explains why it's so persistent and why change, if it happens at all, takes real, sustained effort. So what do you actually do if you recognize this pattern in someone close to you? Keep a realistic view of who they are, maintain boundaries that don't bend under guilt, and protect yourself against the passive aggression rather than absorbing it as your fault. And be honest about what you can actually live with long term. Sometimes the healthiest move isn't fixing the relationship, it is stepping back from it. If this is the first video of ours you have watched, go back and watch how gaslighting actually works. I'll put the link on the screen now. Covert narcissists use almost every tactic in that video. Once you have seen both, the full pattern becomes impossible to miss. This is Umbra Minds. See what others are not meant to see. And I'll see you in the next video.